Welcome to Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and to immediate match reaction to Rangers 5, Antwerp 2, aggregate 9-5. Me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. So I am your host, Scott Carney, and joining me is Ali Pearson.
How we doing, lads? Another fantastic Thursday.
Fantastic, stressful. Everything that you want to possibly say about a game of football again seems to have happened, and Scott Gemmell's joining us.
Good evening. Did another country land in Mars tonight, by the way? I wasn't expecting that.
Fucking hell, man. Honestly, what a game of football. I mean, you could have gave me a million guesses again at the scoreline, and there is no way that I was coming up with that tonight. This had everything, really, pretty much. I mean, the only thing that didn't happen was the red card. That's pretty much it. And no real dodgy VAR decisions either, which is quite good for a change. But we have so much to get into, gentlemen, and obviously we'll start with the starting 11. But I think it's more the bench that's going to cause more controversy than anything else tonight. The starting 11 was Alan McGregor, Balogun, Goldson, Hollander, Barisic, Davis, Kamara, Aribo, Kent, Hadji, and Morelos, and the bench was Patterson, Bassey, and Zungu. Now, strike me down, Ali. There is no chance I've seen this coming.
No, I mean, Twitter went mental when the teams were coming out. There was a rumour beforehand. Obviously, Scotia shared into the group chat the rumour, and I thought, no, surely not, surely not. And then obviously David at Heart and Hand, he was going mental. Zungu, wasn't he? There he was there, and then they all appeared. And I mean, in terms of the team, we got one wrong, which was the Hadji one for Arfield, basically. Aribo was played in the midfield three, he wasn't in the front three. But in terms of the three of them playing, I don't think any Rangers fan today would have said they would have played. We don't think we would have seen it. I don't know, Scotia might say he might have, but I didn't see it coming. I still don't agree they should be there. I mean, we'll come on to how the game went. I still don't agree they should be there. I mean, Jones and Edmondson must be watching that going, what the fuck? But I can see why he's done it. We don't have cover at full-back positions. Zungu was a weird one. I never thought I would see Zungu in the Rangers shirt again, but he was there. So, yeah, Scotia, how are you as well?
Yeah, I think what I'd said yesterday kind of came to fruition a wee bit earlier than I expected, to be honest.
You speak to Gerard personally?
Unfortunately not. You know, I wish. Yeah, I during today, the more I was thinking about it, looking at it, I was thinking it wouldn't surprise me if Bassey or Patterson, one of them at most would be on the bench, just because we are a wee bit lacking in cover for that fullback position. Didn't see Zungu starting. I don't know why. You've got Jonas is there as a midfielder. If it's just to make up numbers in the bench, if it's just to give you cover in case something happens to one of the midfielders, didn't understand that. I don't know if is he away out on loan at the moment, or is he still kicking?
No, he's still there. I'm sure he was on the bench the other day. I'm sure he was.
Yeah, so I was surprised that maybe one of them could come in, but then the problem you run, or the risk you run, is you get too many youth players, because it was actually really good to see Leon King on the bench. He's like a very young player, but it was good to see him on the bench again to get that experience. But that was it started the night off really weirdly, didn't it? The fact that happened, because as Ali said, I don't think anyone expected all three of them.
No, I don't think No, I don't think anybody did. I certainly didn't. When I seen the whole rumours flying about the start of the night, I was like, no, there's no chance that's happening. And because it wasn't official at first, it was more of a rumour. Although the source seems to have been spot on, I was like, no, it can't be true. There's no way. And then all three of them are named. And then there was a wee moment of UEFA have made a mistake and Zungu's not there, but Zungu was there, and crazy. But I don't believe there's any Rangers fan in the world right now that would have turned around and said that they expected even one of them three to be on the bench tonight. But one of them has came back and performed. I mean, you can't script tonight, you honestly can't, but we'll come on to it. Just before we start, gentlemen, I'm going to enjoy this, so I'm just cracking my beer open. So we will jump into the game. So, yeah, I mean, a crazy game of football again. God knows what it is about playing Antwerp. I've got no idea, but just a bizarre game. But Rangers started really, really well. The first attempt on goal comes from Rangers on the 3rd minute. Both teams are pressing high and trying to play out for the back. A second ball was won in the midfield by Davis. He heads it to Hadji. Morelos gets it back about 30 yards out from the goal, squares it to Kent on his left hand side of the box, and with his left, he kind of drags the ball wide. The defenders were closing them down, but I think it was promising signs from Rangers. If we work the ball well, chances will open up for us. 7 minutes, Kent then gets a second chance. Second phase of a corner from Rangers. Davis picks out Kent at the edge of the box with a floated crossfield pass. Kent takes a touch, settles himself and takes a strike, but the keeper tips it round the post. And then 8 minutes, Rangers make the breakthrough. It's that man, the Buffalo, and it won't be the first time we mention him tonight for sure. Rangers really good pressing up the park. Kent kind of picks the pocket of the Antwerp defender as he's trying to get a pass back to the keeper. The keeper rushes out, kind of commits himself, trying to close Kent down on the right-hand side of the box. Kent with a wee cut back to Morelos, who passes it, or strikes it if you like, but it was very, very composed finish into an empty net, as cool as you like, despite there being a bit of pressure from the Antwerp defender. Ali, you could not have asked for a better start from Rangers tonight.
Oh, perfect start. I thought Rangers looked really lively the first, that's 8 minutes they scored there, but looked really lively. I thought, a text used to say, I thought Kent and Morelos were right up for it. I mean, Kent looked really sharp. I don't know what Antwerp were doing, trying to play out from the back when we were pressing high. I could see it happening. The guy gets caught in the ball, Kent nicks it off him. Great awareness to see where Alfie is, pulls it back. Morelos, first time, bang, in the net, and he goes away and does the wee celebration I love. But no, to be 1-0 up after 8 minutes, you thought, here we go. This is it, surely now. This surely would kill Antwerp off. But obviously the game had a few more twists and turns later on.
Yeah, Scotia. Couldn't ask for a better start, mate.
Perfect start, to be honest. That's them now having to score 3 goals to go through. Yeah, loved it. What I will say, and I'll just set this out right from the start, I was, as you know, doing that wee watch along with Tilsley and Defoe. So I was a wee bit in and out of the game. There was an awful lot to take in with what I was doing, because I thought that Lam Kulze, and inside the sort of first or second minute, he was just offside. I think they'd maybe broken us apart a wee bit in defence, and he was just offside. So the way I was watching it, I thought it's a bit up and down the first 2 or 3 minutes, but after that, it was great. And yeah, the goal, the work from Kent, and then the goal from Alfie, absolutely fantastic.
You really couldn't ask for anything better. And Rangers really did dominate pretty much for the next kind of 10 minutes or so. Kent, as you said, Ali, was really, really looking up for it. Kamara did really well at one point to win a ball about the halfway line. Gets it to Kent, who beat his man with absolute ease, but the low cross is stopped. The keeper gathers it just before it goes out for a corner. Hadji again, shot from distance, maybe the wrong choice from Hadji at this point, but again, really looking dangerous every time he went forward. Morelos, Kent, Hadji, Kamara and Aribo all looking really up for it tonight. There's a wee bit of a breaking play around 20 minutes. Alfie goes down. I got a wee bit of the fear at this point, thinking he was going to go off because he took his boot off. So I got a wee bit scared as he went down, but he got back up. Thumbs up from the physio to the bench. Everything's okay after a wee bit of magic spray. 27 minutes, Antwerp being really slack in possession, especially in the middle of the park. This led to a shot from Hadji from a tight angle on the right-hand side after picking the ball up in a dangerous area. It's a decent strike. Good bit of power towards the near post, but it's kind of beaten away by the Antwerp keeper. And then the best chance for Antwerp comes on the 29th minute. Balogun is beat down the right-hand side with a kind of overlapping run. Cross comes into the back post, and on the volley, the Antwerp player hits it on the volley back across the goal. But it's well wide. But it's the first time we've had a real chance, and then it's a goal. After the obviously first bit of joy down the right hand side, they've obviously identified Balogun struggling a wee bit. They go for him again. This time they succeed. Balogun is beat by Lukaku. Low ball into the near post. Antwerp striker beats Aribo to the ball at the near post. It's a real tidy finish. It's a kind of flick with the outside of the right boot. Just touches it enough to direct it past McGregor into the far corner of the net. And Scotia, I'll come to you first. This one's kind of against the run of play. I know Antwerp grew into it for a couple of minutes before it, but they immediately identified the first time they had to go at Balogun that he was really going to struggle against Lukaku.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, as you say, I thought we were on top of the game. I thought cruising's maybe the wrong word, but I thought we were very, very comfortable. And then, yeah, you can see them start to get into it a wee bit. And then this goal comes. I messaged Ali and yourself during the game, and it's the difficulty you get. See, a right back, especially these days, it's a very, very specialised position. It's not the same as it was back in the day, where you're just, as long as you can play with your right foot, you can play there. You need to have a wee bit about you, and they identified that Balogun, not that he can't play there, but it takes time to adjust to be able to play there from when you're normally playing centre back. They identified that, and they run rings around him, and noted that Gerrard in his post-match interview and mentioned that there's maybe a wee bit of niggle to Balogun, one of the reasons he came off. But so I don't know if that had something to do with it, or if that was something that was picked up later on. But they got a weak link in the team, and when I say weak link, it wasn't absolutely terrible, but it's the bit that we could they could exploit. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think I say the first kind of go at Balogun really properly from Lukaku. They realised that he could be got at. I'm not going to be too critical of Balogun. He's a centre back at heart. It's his position, and the job he's getting asked to do from us is obviously something new to him. It's probably not a position he's played against, but even at that, Ali, this is still quite a poor goal to concede in the time we conceded it.
Yeah, I mean, Antwerp were growing into it slightly. I mean, they warned us previously down the right there, and then obviously the goal was poor. I mean, yeah, I don't think he was good today, Balogun at right back at all. He looked very uncomfortable. But I mean, you can't slag the guy. He has a centre half, but he did look very uncomfortable. He's caught out. Goldson comes across to try and help out. He's out position. I think Aribo's actually found where Goldson should be, and it's a goal. Just one of the ones, but he gets booked later on, Balogun, and at that point I thought we need to take him off and put Patterson on because he's one challenge away from getting sent off. But one each, it gives them hope, gives them a bit of belief, and it gives the momentum to them, which I thought it shifted to them at that point.
I think it definitely did, and I'm shocked that you've just said that you wanted Patterson to come on after last night. You said you want him to get sacked, mate. I'm a bit shocked at that, to be honest. And you're probably only saying that in hindsight and comparing what we're going to discuss about the second half. But yeah, I mean, I would agree with pretty much both views, to be honest. I think it's. We knew he was going to get booked. We spoke about it last night. We said he will get booked. It's going to happen. Gerrard's going to have to make the choice of whether he plays Patterson or he readjusts the kind of formation. I think he's pretty much answered that question, especially in Europe. Might be different in the league, of course. But yeah, you're right. So for the next kind of 10 minutes or so, there's not a lot happens. Obviously, Balogun gets his booking, the exact booking that you'd said, Scotia. Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah, it was the worry. It's the worry I had.
I hope you put that in your coupon, Scotia.
I did not, no, but it was the worry I did have, and precisely what I was saying about a centre back playing at right back. You make a clumsy.
Right.
So particularly on that left, like attacking left hand side are tricky. They're speedy, and you can make a clumsy challenge, and that'll happen. So it didn't surprise me it was booked, and it was a worry I had.
Yeah, you did turn into a robot halfway through that point there, mate, but I totally get your gist. I know you're coming from. Your sound just dropped out a wee bit, mate. It's all right, though. We'll continue on. But yeah, you're right. It was that kind of tackle that you were expecting. They're a wee bit pacey, as you were saying, down the left, and he's been caught out, and that's him. He will miss the first leg of the next round. So, as I say, we kind of move on to the kind of 41st minute, really. Rangers are not really controlling the game the way we should be. We're kind of letting Antwerp get a bit more of a foothold into the game. 43 minutes, they're trying to isolate Balogun again out on the left-hand side. Lukaku gets a better of Balogun, cuts inside and gets the shot away, but it's blasted into the side netting. But again, this is a warning sign. And then quite a controversial moment, I would imagine, is that Morelos then decides to stop the play as we break forward. He's on the right-hand side. The defender's trying to close him down, pulls up with a hamstring injury, it looks like to me. Strange decision, this, for me. Rangers were in a great position to make a goal-scoring opportunity. I don't think there was any doubt about that. Look, it's amazing sportsmanship from Morelos. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's not, and he's probably, I mean, he'll be praised for it, but my argument straight away is Antwerp were chasing this game. If this happens up the other end of the park and it's Helander or Goldson that pulls up with that injury, do Antwerp stop the game? I don't think they do. So I was furious. I couldn't believe that he'd stopped. I was like, I don't. He's off. He's right. Guys ran off the park. There's no need to stop. It should be the referee's decision, in my opinion. Ali, am I being a bit harsh here?
No, I wasn't chuffed with him either, to be honest. If that was Antwerp, 100% they would have played on, knowing
No,
they need goals tonight.
100% they would have played on.
No,
100%.
I mean, the guy's done his hamstring. You can clearly see Morelos sees he's done it as well. But no, I'd play on. I mean, you see this in football quite a lot. I mean, I always remember the one, I think it was Di Canio at West Ham, could have scored and he caught the ball.
That's right, yeah. That's right.
So it was. I seen an old Scotia text to say Lukaku's brother tweeted to say it was good sportsmanship.
He was just going to say that. He's trying to wind me up. But
aye, but no, to me, you play at the whistle until the referee stops the game. I wasn't happy because we had a right good chance there, especially before half time. That could have killed them as well. But I mean, the wee man gets bad press, so hopefully he'll get a wee bit of good press for that tomorrow. But probably not. They'll spin it another way, no doubt.
Yeah, probably. They'll probably say he was doing something wrong. Right, Mr. Preacher, your opinion on it?
I've got two kind of opinions on it. Like the wider kind of football perspective, it's nice to see. You know, as a football fan, it's nice to see something like that. As a Rangers fan, not so much. You know, but that's the way it goes. I don't know if maybe Gerrard said, "Listen, I'm going to be bringing on someone that's going to get me a hell of a lot of jip. So do you want to do something to take the kind of sting away?" Perhaps, you know.
The conspiracy theories there, mate. Not half. Look, I'm not going to be against Morelos. It's fantastic sportsmanship. It really is. If I'd seen it in a different game, as you just said there, Scott, if I'd seen it in a different game, I'd be like, that was great from him. Well done. But at that point, because Antwerp were kind of dominating towards the second half of the first half, I was like, why are you stopping? I couldn't believe that he'd stopped. So
what I was going to say is I don't know if it's because he's so close to the boy and he's seen his hand go up straight, because the boy runs out the park anyway. Like, he takes himself out of the game. Yeah. So I don't know if he's so close that he's seen it happen and then realises it's a bad one, because sometimes if you would imagine if you're going to be a player like that, you'll see someone get hurt and you'll like be kind of nice about it. Plus as well, I had the thought maybe that obviously Antwerp were on top at that point. Maybe just do it, slow the game down, see out the half, kind of thing. Possibly.
Not from the position that we were in, no. Do you know what I mean? If it was in the middle, if it was in the middle of the park, mate, we weren't going anywhere. 100%, I'd be like, that was amazing, well done, Alfie. That's superb. But we were proper breaking at that point. It looked like we could have made something happen there. Look, I don't want to stick on the point too long, but it's just one of them things. But at the time, obviously it was one each, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I was not chuffed at all. But again, fantastic sportsmanship from Alfie. I'm not going to say anything different. But from a Rangers perspective, it was quite frustrating, to say the least. So 1 minute added on time, end of the half, and it's 1-1. So my half-time thoughts are Rangers are still in control of the tie. But I think we need to shore up the right-hand side somehow, as Balogun has been kind of singled out by Antwerp, and he's obviously now on his booking as well. So, Ali, what was your initial thoughts at half-time?
Yeah, well, still, like you said, still in control of the tie. I thought the last 20 minutes we not died away, but the quick movement, the tempo dropped again, which I don't like with Rangers when the tempo drops, because we're a much better team when we're playing with high tempo football. But they come into it, one each. It was fair enough. I did say in the group chat, I did say to my dad as well when I spoke to him half time, I'd bring Patterson on, because Balogun was one challenge away from getting sent off in that game, and I think he would have got sent off because they would have targeted him again, and he would have done it. I know he would have done it. So you had to bring Patterson on. And at that point, I think it's used for Spide Scotia says, imagine Patterson scores the winner. And then,
Scotia, what was your thoughts at half time, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we started really well. really well. And then at points, I think Kent and Morelos must have just plugged into the same kind of machine, and they were just playing off each other because some of their link-up play was brilliant. And on Hadji, I don't think Hadji was poor today, but I think he was just a wee bit off where Kent and Morelos were. I think Kent and Morelos were on a different level, and Hadji was maybe just that wee, what did I say to you, Pearson, quarter yard, half yard off the pace of them two.
He's frustrating though, Hadji, because he is that one moment time player. He's in and out of games so much. That's why you see a lot of the bad side of Hadji quite a lot, but then when he does the good side, it's fantastic because we get going.
But as I say, I don't think it's because Hadji, but it wasn't poor, and he wasn't. He was really good, I thought, today. But Kent and Morelos were unbelievable at points in that first half. Like the way they linked up was brilliant. Balogun, we're getting torn a new one down that right-hand side, to be honest. And after they scored, they kind of got like that second wind almost, and just came into it and went like, all right, it's here, we can do it. Which you can't expect in a knockout cup competition, to be honest.
Yeah, on the Hadji point, I totally agree. To be honest, I think Kent and Morelos just showed that they are just that wee step above Hadji just now, and they showed that they are that. And I totally the whole quarter of a yard that he was off the pace, Hadji, Scott. I think it's a brilliant analogy, mate, because Hadji wasn't bad. He just wasn't as good as what Morelos and Kent were. Morelos and Kent in that first half especially were tremendous at points. I mean, really, really tremendous. In all honesty, before I jump ahead of myself, Morelos was unplayable today for the majority of that match. As a defender, going up against that, you're going to have an absolute nightmare. Scotia, there's no way you could have dealt with him, mate.
No chance, no. The broadfoot in me would hate it.
Yeah, so now comes into the second half. A moment that left me speechless. I'm sitting right now with my hands on my head as I think back on it, because I can't actually believe what happened. It's like something you see in a movie. It's unbelievable. So Balogun does go off at half time. Patterson comes on the second half. I just finished writing my note that he must be thanking his lucky stars that after his carry on, he's getting at least 45 minutes of European football under his belt for at least the remainder of the season. And then 45 minutes plus 16 seconds. The number 16, the player wearing number 16 today leaves me speechless. Do one of you want to take this away? Because I don't think I'm going to do it any justice, to be honest. But yeah, I'll try. I'll try.
I mean, I did text the group chat literally as he came on and said, imagine he scores the winner. I mean, and then as I said, it 16 seconds it took from him being in the park to put the ball in the net. When he came on, he had to come on because Balogun was going to go. He was going to get sent off, so he had to come on. I mean, I've said from the start, I don't think he should have been in the squad with the rest of them. So, but take that away. We're looking at a game of football here. He had to come on, and he gave a. It'll come on to it later. I mean, the balance of the Rangers back four was so much better, but the link-up play from Morelos to him. I mean, I was off the couch and I was going, surely not. Bang, into the net. I mean, I was going mental, and I never thought I'd be celebrating a Nathan Patterson goal to go 2-1 up at Ibrox. I think it was quite surreal. And I think if you looked at Twitter at that point, everyone else was going, what the fuck's going on? What's just happened to you? I mean, even if Carlsberg did tonight, they still couldn't have done that. I mean, that was unbelievable. I don't know how the papers will spin that tomorrow, but it was fairy tale stuff, if you want to say, for a boy that was down and out and potentially never had a career with Rangers. I mean, I did say I would sack him. He's back in again. It's unbelievable. I don't know what else to say.
I literally, you don't know what to say, mate. That's the thing. It left me going. I didn't even know what to write down as I was watching it. I was going, this can't be real. This can't have just happened. You cannot make this kind of stuff up. I mean, and what a goal it is, by the way. Honestly, the move is great. Parson bursts his nut to get onto the end of Morelos' pass, gets himself just in front of the defender. The defender can't touch him. If he does, it's a penalty. And he lashes it home into the far corner, just inside the post, into the kind of side netting. Keeper's got no chance. and Patterson puts us 2-1 up, and I'm sitting literally jaw wide open, like trying to type something down on the laptop as I'm watching the telly. Like, what did I write here? I mean, it's unbelievable. Scotia, can you put this into words?
Not really, no. It was kind of scripted, wasn't it? Before he scored the goal, as I mentioned earlier, I was watching that virtual watch along with Defoe and Tilsley, and as the subs were getting made, I'll talk about some of that towards the end of this, if anyone's interested. But while I was listening to it, Defoe kind of talked about it, and he was saying that he was making a good point that he forgave Patterson's mistake. He was like, he's young, make mistakes, he doesn't have any issues. And something that he did say is, like, he was watching the video or the interviews with them, and he could see, particularly Bassey and Patterson, how kind of gutted they were, that like, they realised they've nearly fucked everything up for themselves. And what he did say as well is that after they get caught, let's say they did get caught, let's be honest, because they weren't going to not tell anyone.
Yes,
but
they got caught. Yeah, of course they get caught. Yeah.
What he did is, like, the three of them had messaged all the players. Like, I think they must have a group chat or stuff like that. They'd messaged them all and said, like, we're really, really sorry. And like, for what I got from Jermaine Defoe tonight, listening along to that, is like they accepted that. So it's maybe like water under the bridge in terms of the players. A wee bit, at least from Defoe. Shagger, I think he'll still be raging, but you know, you never know. It was good. That was one of the best insights of that wee watch party. As I said, we can talk about it later, but that was good.
I can imagine McGregor's kind of like, you know, when you have that fallout with your bird, but you make up with each other, and it's like everything's fine, and she tells you everything's fine. She's like, it's fine, don't worry about it. And then the next time you walk into, like, I don't know, the kitchen, and you kind of drop something or whatever, you kind of like turn around and look at her, and she's looking at you with that face. So I can imagine McGregor with that kind of steely look on his face to go, it's fine, but don't talk to me, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, fair play to Patterson. I mean, honestly, no matter we take the COVID situation out of it, and what a start from him. I mean, you really can't ask anything more from a right back coming on at half time to go and do something like that. I mean, it almost puts James Tavernier to shame. That wee move, it really does. It's superb, and we could not have asked for a better start to the second half. And I really don't know how to move on from it. But Rangers helped with that, because immediately we lead into a goal. So Rangers make it 3-1. Kamara with a absolute great pass to Hadji. I mean, it's incredible the way he passes it through the bodies. Hadji, great turn just about on the halfway line. Really, really clever. Leaves his guy for dead. Plays Amarelis down the right hand side. He then touches it round the side of his man. Goes round the other way to get onto his own pass. Low cross, pull back across to Kent, and Kent smashes it home. Keeper gets a wee bit of a touch on it, but nothing to be able to keep it out. A real amazing goal from Rangers, really. Proper flowing Rangers team goal. It was absolutely fantastic. Ali, we're in dreamland now.
Yeah, this best goal of the game. This is Rangers that we've come to watch this season, especially beginning of the season. Free-flowing football. This is when Hadji comes into his own, in between two players, drops a shoulder, spins, plays it to Big Buff. They were shiting himself all night at him up there. As soon as he put the ball past that boy and he got him turned, beating for pace. And it's great work for Kent. You look at Kent where his position is, and Alfie knows where he is. He comes across the defender and obviously right in the back of the net. And at this point, I thought 3-1. The game now is dead and buried. But obviously, you'll come on to what happened about a minute later.
Yeah, but
would it be Rangers if we didn't do something daft?
Of course, mate. Of course, it wouldn't be Rangers. But yeah, I mean, in terms of this goal, it is the goal of the game. It's a great goal. It's a great, just the flow in football. I mean, it's like I've said it before in other pods. It's undefensible. You can't defend against like that. There's no matter who you are, when Rangers click into that gear and every pass that we do comes off and the finish comes off, you can't defend against it, and it's so good to watch. And when it goes in, you're just absolutely buzzing. Kent was buzzing. It was a great team goal. Scotia, just everything you want to see about Rangers, is it not?
Pure sex. It was pure sex. That's what it was, man. It was gorgeous. I think it came from actually Patterson winning a free kick. sort of midway in our own half. And then this is probably Haji's best moment of the game. This is when he finally clicked with Kent and Morelos, and it was gorgeous. I watched that and repeat. That's another one to add to the discussion points around goal of the season, I think.
Yeah, you're probably an argument for it, mate. To be honest, it was just such a good team goal, and I can't wait to go back and watch. Obviously, we've not done it quite after the full time whistle because I've had some technical difficulties, and you'll all know that by the time this comes up. If you're waiting for it, I do apologise. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to go and watch that back, and it's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch the highlights again because it's just such a good goal. I mean, it's everything you want to see, and that's that wee moment of Hadji. He can produce that, as you say, Ali. I don't want to steal your line all the time, mate, but he's the flair player. He's got that wee moment in him that is just pure magic. So yeah, Rangers are 3-1 up. We are rocking. I'm loving it. And then 3 minutes later, it's 3-2. So just as I was settling down to enjoy the rest of the match, Antwerp pull one back. So Antwerp striker does really well, to be fair, to get the ball just before McGregor and squeezes it home from a tight angle. Here we go again, Ali. 3-2 on the night, 7-5 on aggregate. Not the best defending from Rangers in Europe, eh?
No, it was poor again, to be honest. I mean, McGregor and Goldson need to talk to each other. They obviously didn't talk to each other, bang into each other. I mean, the striker does well to be where he is, taps it in, to be honest, but in Europe, for some reason, we have given some amount of stupid goals away against certain teams. I mean, obviously against Antwerp, Benfica. I mean, we've had Braga. Aye, that's going back last season, but I think it is a better calibre of team. But the goals we do give are schoolboy goals at time, and from being 3-1 up and cantering it to being 3-2, it was a bit of a dodgy scoreline because they were 2 goals away from pulling it back to extra time. I mean, I didn't think they would, but if they'd got the next goal, you're in kind of, what do? Do you stick or twist again? And that's when it gets dodgy. So, no, when they put that in, it took the buzz of that bloody third goal away, to be honest, because it was pretty much instant. And I thought Rangers would still come through the tie, but it put a wee bit of doubt into me. Again, the defending was poor.
Scosh, poor defending? I don't know if it's poor defending. I think it was weird. I've got a weird thing with this in Europe. See, if you look back and the goals that we concede in Europe in the last 3 seasons, I think a fair few of them have came within 5 minutes of us scoring the goal. I think we just switch off a wee bit.
Probably.
And I know I've said it's maybe because the quality of the teams we are playing are better that we're conceding more goals. But I also think some of that quality comes down to that we may perhaps don't switch off as such, but they're right in going like, right, let's get back to it. Whereas in Scotland, it's like, oh, we've just conceded a goal. And I'd need to look into them to see what it was, but I've got memories of us conceding pretty quickly after we've scored in Europe for the last couple of seasons.
Well, it's when you're most vulnerable in football.
It is, yeah. We need to improve, particularly if we're going to hopefully. I mean, this is a big hope, getting into the Champions League group stages next season. We need to improve in that. Otherwise, we could be looking at like 9 or 8-0 defeats. Yeah, with some of the defending, you see.
I think, it was a strange goal. It was kind of reminded me of their third goal last Thursday, where it was just, they've scored, and it was kind of like where have they scored from, kind of thing. It was one of them ones, and when I seen it back, I was like, it's a wee bit dodgy defending, whatever. I mean, the boy does really well to get there before McGregor does, to be fair to him, and he does score from quite a tight angle. Am I worried at this point? Probably not, to be honest. I'm thinking, right, Rangers, just get a kind of grip of the game and don't give away any kind of stupid chances, stupid goals. And it kind of came to that, really. Antwerp kind of tried their hardest to commit players forward, as you would expect them to do, but they didn't really create anything. There was no real danger. coming at all, really, from them. The second subs come for Rangers, sorry. On the 70th minute, Hadji comes off, Scott Arfield comes on for the last 20 minutes. Quite a sensible change from Rangers at this point. There's a bit of breaking the play on 72 minutes as the Antwerp goalkeeper's taken out by his own man. It was just before Kent hit a shot, the ref blew the whistle, and somehow the Antwerp keeper got the ball back. Again, really no understanding. It must be a new rule to me, this one, because I don't really understand how we don't get the ball back for that. 75 minutes, this offside rule is ridiculous and not good for my heart rate. I literally wrote that down. I was like, so Antwerp were away at this point. The ball was over the top again. It's about 2 yards offside at least, but we need to wait for the play to come to a natural conclusion. Scotia, how was your heart when this happened?
Yeah, I don't like it. I think the commentators in the game have said, like in the BT commentary, have said they didn't like it. That wee thing that I was listening to by Defoe, he says he bloody hates it as well, because what he said is that he always looks across the line to see if the flag goes up and then do it. And then I don't know if it was Craigan or Alex Ray.
Alex Ray, I think it was. It was Alex
They
Ray.
mentioned that if you keep on going to continue doing that, if the boy could be like 5 yards offside, but the officials under VAR need to let the play complete. Well, what happens if someone comes in and gets injured off that when everyone knows that it's miles offside? Now, I can understand it if it's really tight, but when it's like, it's obviously offside as he was, not sure.
It's stupid. He was blatantly offside. I mean, blatantly offside. You're talking at least 2 yards offside, but we have to wait for the natural conclusion of the attacking play. Ali, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, it's not only what Scotia's saying, somebody could get injured, the keeper could do a clash into him or whatever, something could happen. But it's not only that, as if say one of the centre backs doesn't know that this is offside and he is busting a gut, literally using up energy at that time in the match to get back to try and stop this, only for the ref and the linesman to go 30 seconds later, well, he's offside. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, our text, it's a stupid rule. I think Scotia said it happened 3 or 4 times tonight, but I mean that boy was way offside, but it even puts doubt into us. You're thinking, Christ, is he onside now? And he keeps going and going and going. You're thinking, what's going on here? And then it takes ages for the play to stop, and then he puts the flag up. I mean, I've watched it in English games as well, and it's frustrating. It's another one of these stupid rules that's been brought into football. It's daft. I mean, we all talk about the penalty one with the hat, if it hits your hand in the penalty as well. That's a stupid rule as well, to be honest. I think there's a lot of rules in football that are just daft. I just think common sense needs to come into it, and that's one of them that is just stupid. And it was frustrating to watch that, because when that happened, my heart rate went up and I thought, fucking shite, they could fucking score here, and then it's obviously offside. So, no, a stupid rule.
It's a stupid rule, but what I would say is I understand why they brought it in, because there are those marginal offside decisions, when it's half a yard, wouldn't obviously in play you won't see it as that, but you look at it slow motion, it is. So I understand why they brought it in for that, but when he's so far offside,
it's pointless.
It doesn't make sense.
It's pointless. I mean, we don't even have. We're not as if we're sitting. We don't have a camera angle that's on where the back four are sitting, but he's offside. But it does, as you said, Ali, it gives you that wee moment of going, "Fuck, is he offside or is he onside? What's fuck's happening here?" And then it's like you see the linesman put his flag up. It's just a stupid rule. I don't like it at all. But I made my heart race too many times tonight. But we need not worry any longer, gentlemen, as Rangers really finished the game off. It's a penalty to Rangers, as you would imagine. Morelos kind of rolls his man. His legs are clatted into as he's on the turn. It's a Stonewall penalty. Barisic steps up. Same side as every other penalty he's hit, but this one is struck so well, and there's absolutely no chance for the keeper. And it's 4-2 to Rangers on the night and 8-5 on aggregate. I'm beginning to breathe a wee bit easier now, Scott.
Oh yeah, just a wee bit. Yeah. It's one of those ones you didn't expect it to be like this. I was ready for a nice wee calm night, and lo and behold, we get this again. It was a lovely penalty by Barisic. Definitely a penalty from Morelos. I don't think he went down too easily. Anyway, people could maybe claim that, but he definitely get connected with. penalty.
I think he almost tried to stay up, mate.
Yeah.
To be honest, to be fair to him, I
Yeah.
think he thought I'll try and stay up here, and the refs actually made quite a good decision and went, well, no, it's a penalty. Do you know what I mean? Because he wasn't going to get there. The other defender was closing him down. But Ali, again, the Buffalo's just making things happen tonight.
Yeah, again, they didn't know how to deal with Morelos tonight at all. I mean, he'll be in their nightmares tonight, Morelos. I'm sure of it when they go to bed tonight, the defenders. But Stonewall penalty. I mean, he does, like you said there, he actually tried to stay on his feet, Morelos, and he's gone down slightly after the touch, but Stonewall penalty. I went to VAR as well. There's never again penalty. Big Borna steps up and I'm going, I know exactly where he's putting it. But to be fair, he's put it exactly into the side netting with pace, with curl. No keeper is saving that. But if you're a goalkeeper, you know exactly where he is going every time, unless he goes to the other side. But it was a great penalty from Borna, to be fair. And the game is buried now. 4-2 dead. That was it.
Yeah, interestingly, after we recorded yesterday, I listened to the preview that the boys in Heart and Hand do, and Alex Staff, I think it was saying that Borna's penalty record in Croatia was like 50-50. So I think out of 8 penalties, he scored 4. I don't know if he didn't give me the direction, but he's hit 2 poor penalties in the last week and hit 2 crackers. And he's 75% at the moment. So
probably says a lot about who hit our last penalty tonight, to be honest. So we'll just jump onto it. But again, so Rangers in total command now. I'm feeling rather chipper about it. 81 minutes with double substitution. Davis and Kent go off and Zungu Wright come on. Now, obviously, gentlemen, we all know absolutely nothing about football, and I don't think we know any of the thinking that's behind football, because I cannot believe that Bogani Zungu has made an appearance for Rangers tonight. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on it. We're already kind of going on for a bit for time here, but again, not a Rangers fan in the world, Ali, seen this coming.
No, that's never. Patterson and Bassey, aye, because you can say they're young, they're fullbacks, potential. Whereas Zungu, who's a lone player, 28 of that party as well, we need to remember. He's a lot older than the guys. I never once thought I would see him in a Rangers top again. I mean, I sent you a link to a South African podcast and they were absolutely pounding Zungu. Basically call him an arsehole. I mean, I can't say the language they used in their podcast, but it was quite good. It was good, to be honest. But I was shocked to see Zungu. If somebody had told me Bogani Zungu would play in a Rangers game again, I'd say, fuck off. That's never happening. So, shocked.
Do you think Gerrard was taking the piss a wee bit, maybe?
Probably. I don't know. I mean, you've got Barjones that was supposed to be going to, was it Orange County, but that get blocked because, which I thought was because what Zungu did. So I thought he was going to be that cover for Zungu not going to be in the squad anymore. So I would have had Barjones in the squad today, but I don't know what Zungu said. I don't know what I don't know what he's done to get back in that team. I mean, I'm baffled.
I was baffled. See, when I seen him getting stripped off, I was like, no chance, man. Like, obviously Patterson coming on is kind of okay, but I mean, I don't think Davis had to be kind of taken off. I understand why he done it, but Zungu coming on, I mean, Squash, are you just as shocked as us two about this?
Yeah, I was, man. Yeah, definitely. But what I did say to you is because we went for the exact same team. We didn't have Hadji playing, which would have meant like all our midfield players were on the pitch, and we didn't have like a first team midfield player to come on if the worst of the worst happened to Davis or Kamara.
Why not Barjones then?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But then I think that's maybe the reason the team was changing. Arfield was put on the bench, or one of the midfielders was being put on the bench. But I didn't understand it, to be honest. I mean, I stand by what I said yesterday, that I didn't think Zungu would play. Shocked, like completely shocked that he did tonight. And Livingston's next Wednesday. He clearly can't play then, can he? No. Or is that just about 2 fingers to the SFA and SPFL?
They'll step in this week, SFA, definitely.
Oh, I would say tomorrow you're probably going to get a decision on this. Yeah, after
I
both
don't
of them
think. I
coming
don't
on.
think. I don't think they can. Can they? They can't fast track
I
it.
think they'll find a bloody loophole they've got somewhere.
Of
And
course they
do it.
will. There'll be some sort of
It's all
loophole that
right.
they can get around us.
Seemingly new compliance offers for the Rangers season ticket
Aye,
holders.
well,
So
Yeah.
if you go by
apparently.
Twitter rules,
that's another pod.
But yeah, I mean, what a shock to the system it was to see Zunga coming on the park. I mean, just baffles me. It really does. But I mean, I'm not going to complain, obviously, because we've managed to get the result tonight. So following on from that, Morelos goes off, Itten comes on, and that just as we were kind of thinking we were just about to round up the game, Rangers were seeing the game out quite comfortably, not much to report. Antwerp kind of huffed and puffed, but didn't do anything of real note. 3 minutes of added on time, and then it's a penalty at Rangers. So Scott Wright did really, really well, to be fair to him, down the right-hand side. He's taken out from behind. It's a clear penalty. VAR check it, clear penalty. Itten steps up this time and scores. Rangers full time, 5-2, 9-5 on aggregate. We're into the last 16 of the Europa League again, boys. This Gerrard team it's going to go down a bit of our history, Ali.
Yeah, I like Scott Wright. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said I like Scott Wright, but he always looks dead bright when he comes on. And as soon as he picked that ball up, the first thing I was screaming at the telly, even though we're 4-2 up with 2 minutes to go, was drive at that defence. And he did, cut inside, won the penalty. And then, in fact, I actually listened to Borna's interview at the end of the game there. He was interviewed by BT, and he actually said he wanted to give the penalty to Big Itten because he's been trying hard in training, and he thought he would give him the penalty to try and get him some more goals, which was quite nice of Borna. Probably deep down, Borna knew that he was going to hit that same side again. He'd probably miss it though. But so that's what he said. He gave it a Big Itten to get his goals up and his confidence. So that was nice of him. I thought he was lucky at hitting it down the middle. It's a gamble when you hit down there. It hit kind of off the keeper, but he smashed it straight in. But to win this game 5-2, I mean, God knows who had that in their cooking tonight. I'd love to see that. But it was outstanding with Rangers again. And once again, we are leading in terms of Europe. I know Scotia loves his coefficients, points and everything, but once again, Rangers are putting the coefficient points up for Scottish football again this season. Last 16 again for the second year in a row. It's an outstanding achievement. We're 18 points clear in the league as well. What more can you say about this Rangers team? He's now overtook Walter Smith in terms of wins in Europe now, Steven Gerrard. His interview at the end of the season, he went, "Don't talk to me in terms of Walter Smith because I've not won anything yet here," which I loved. He's not won anything. So, no. I mean, what a great 2 games of football to watch. As a neutral, outstanding. As a Rangers fan at times over the 2 legs, it wasn't great for the old heart, but it was, fantastic game of football tonight. Defending a bit dodgy at times, but we'll take that with 5 goals. And it's great to see Rangers scoring goals again. That's, I think, how many goals is that? 13 goals, I think, now in 3 games. And before we were really struggling to score goals. We look back to what we were, and I did say Europe may ignite us again, and I think it has.
Definitely, and as I say, it leads us very nicely into our man of the match. There's only one man for me. I know there's quite a number that we can pick out. Obviously, there was a lot of good performers today, but there was one man that was absolutely unplayable in that team today, and it was Alfredo Morelos.
It's got to be Morelos. He comes alive in Europe, Alfredo Morelos. Even Gerrard said that tonight in his interview. He said he enjoys Europe for a certain reason, but he didn't give the reason. I don't know what that was in terms of maybe he's looking for a move away because he's in the spotlight. But
exactly, it's not Emma Dodge that said because of who's watching these games or something.
Yeah. So he's back, Buff. He's starting to score as well. He's back to what he was. Obviously, we're going to the other side of the city next month. I would love him to score the winner that takes us 55. It would be outstanding. But no, for me, Alfredo Morelos all day long tonight.
All day long. So yeah, that's us. A bit of a longer one tonight, just based on the game, obviously. But obviously, we are now into the last 16 of Europa League. So the draw is tomorrow, so that's Friday, and it will be at midday tomorrow. Some big names in the draw now. Everybody's unseeded, so it'll be an interesting draw. So thanks very much, guys, for joining us tonight. Thanks to Ali, thanks to Scott. We will be back with you soon. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we'll speak to you again next time. Cheers.